So yeah, just going to do a video on my thoughts on AI and ChatGPT, as it's something I've been doing within the last couple of weeks. And the reason for that is it's a I think it's a tool. It's sort of a way to like try and make sense of life, try and make sense of why things have turned out the way it has, explaining certain things like supported living, why I've been diagnosed with Asperger's, what sort of traits I show, but certain other things. Do I show symptoms of ADHD and all that? So I want to try and make sense of my life, because I can find it very confusing, certain things, why it's turned out the way it has, why I'm the way I am, and as someone with Asperger's, but I think it's beyond that. I think even for normal people, this world is, I think it's very confusing sometimes where I just don't seem to understand, mainly with the system, why the system works this way, why so like people have like social codes, social norms where guess what, like neurotypicals seem to just pick up or they're expected to pick up, but I just can't understand for the life of me. Like social codes, like why can't I follow someone on social media who I already know or has a public social media page, but I already know them, but there's sort of like a duty of care barrier, and when they leave that job, I still can't follow them and just stuff like that. It just doesn't make sense to me, but it's like that social code of where you're expected to pick it up, and normal people seem to pick it up, if you know what I mean. But that's probably a topic for another video. And yeah, it's been a tool of trying to make sense of things, but I don't know if it's really helpful or the most healthy way of dealing with things, because I think AI is kind of like a replacement for therapy in a way, for me anyway. But it can be a bit of therapy, but it's at the end of the day you're talking to a robot, you're not talking to a human. Like it's soulless, it doesn't really care. It might send you false information and stuff. And like it's pissed me off a few times now where I've gotten a bit pissed off about it, and my blood pressure started to rise as a result of it. Where I've talked about a few personal stuff that gets me all emotional and all that. Sounds a bit sad and all that, but that's the honest truth. And I just, as humans, we've got emotions, and if you don't, there's something wrong with you, really. But stuff that I can't really help because it is what it is, and it's kind of giving me information, what you don't really want to hear, but I kind of refuse to believe it as well because I kind of think some of it's bollocks. Like, I don't know if it's true or not, but yeah, that's kind of the cruel part of it. Part of it, like one example is knowing my current situation. I've got Asperger's. I'm deemed as a vulnerable adult. I'm in supported living, so I'm well in the system, and by design, the system is very isolating, and I don't think that's right, but that's what the system's all about because it's about risk first. Like, they don't risk anything, and I believe I don't really get the right support where I kind of get pushed into groups or to try and talk me, suggest and persuade me that I join groups that are for vulnerable adults, people you can't really engage with, and I just don't think they're for me, and they don't really do anything for me, so they're kind of useless. And when you don't engage, it's kind of seen as there's something wrong with you, but they don't really do that anyway. But that's just part of the frustrating thing of it. So that's one example, and so yeah, it's just by design the system's very isolating, very rigid, cold, soulless. Like I know it too well because I've always been part of it as a result of having Asperger's, being seen as someone who struggles. You know, when I was at school and all that, the way the education system treated me when I was at school and all that. And it's just a very cold, rigid system that's very isolating, I think. And I do believe it doesn't really support you in reaching your full potential because it's risk first and it's stuff that's just not right. So it kind of, in a way, it's kind of a relief that it kind of explains that and I kind of understand the way that the system thinks more. But it's very depressing and it's a worrying thing to be honest, and it's come out with a few worrying things, you know. That's come out with a few personal things, stuff that gets to my head, gets to my emotions, social isolation, and I think one example of that with my current situation, because of Asperger's, the biggest curse of Asperger's is social isolation. It's fucking the cruelest fucking curse of it. No way, it really does rub the salt in the wounds. No, when it comes to that, and I think, to be honest, with the modern world, I don't think it really helps anyone. Like, I think even normal people can struggle with isolation or struggle with finding employment, struggle with finding girls dating and all that. And I think one thing I explained is because I've never really been in the right environment, and that can go with support, no, like support from your parents or your social circle, family members. I've never really had that right support, and that I've kind of believed it anyway, you know, deep down. But I guess that's kind of the answer. Where I've never really had the right support, and I've never been supported into the right environments where I can thrive in those environments, because that's people who are socially successful or successful at getting jobs, getting dates, and successful in functioning in the real world have better support systems and they're in the right environment where they thrive in that environment. And I just don't think I really had that. So it's kind of less about, I think it's less about there's something wrong with me, it's just something wrong with the world, there's something wrong with the system. And I kind of 100% believe that, and I believed in that anyway, but I guess that's giving me that answer, no, to make sense of that, because I find it quite hard to make sense of certain things, why certain things are just the way they are, is to me, is that why I failed in life, you know what I mean? But yeah, no. So partly it is possibly useful, but I don't know if I trust it because it's a robot, it's AI. And with AI, I probably have mixed opinions. Ultimately, I'm probably against it, but when it comes to like creativity, as someone that's come from a creative background, it's kind of destroying that because it's taking over. And I think the charm of art and being creativity is that it's made by a human. You know, like it's more raw, it's more pure, and when it's made by AI or a robot, that all that's taken away. It's fake, it's phony. I think it's already fake and phony as it already is, and we just need a less of that when it comes to people as well. So I'm very mixed. It's kind of useful, possibly for information, I guess. You know, like trying to make sense of the world or revising or just wanting to know things. But ultimately, it is probably not. It's very. I'm very mixed with it. Like, and also it might be helpful to know, oh, what does this hairstyle look good on me, or am I good looking, or would this look good on me? Does this jacket look good on me, it might be useful for that. Where it might help you out with that. But when it comes to art and creativity, and that's probably one of the biggest curses of it. And the other thing is probably when it comes to potentially taking over human existence. No, you know what I mean. But if you watch like the Terminator or something, that's an example, possibly. But yeah, that's really my thoughts on that. But yeah, I think that's it for now. Goodbye.